Hey, what's going on everyone? How you guys doing today? Welcome back to the State 2 video. In today's video, we're gonna be embracing our healing side, our support side, because we're taking a look at the new auto rifle frame, the healing auto rifles. If you ever wanted to go full healer mode, then this is gonna be the weapon for you. We're gonna be talking about this, how to get it, how the frame actually works, and also we're gonna be taking a look at the perks that you can get on this weapon, and what are some of the best ones that you should be looking for if you're looking for a god roll on this weapon. And afterwards, lastly, we're gonna be having like a mini review where I just kind of tell you what I think of the weapon. If you guys are new here, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. We're gonna be posting tons of final shape videos, and also leave a like on the video if you end up liking it. But let's get into it, and first of all, let's talk about how to actually get this weapon and where to get some more. If you're wondering where you can get more of these weapons, since we got one during the campaign, you can pretty much get it from doing anything at the Pale Heart, any sort of activity there. You can drop there, but you can also focus it at Ghosts, which is probably going to be the easiest way to actually get 5 of them, so you can craft this thing. But now let's actually move on to talking about the weapon, and first we gotta take a look at the frame, because we just never seen something like this. But this weapon is a support frame, a flexible and agile frame, capable of healing allies and hurting foe, harming targets, builds up restoration charge, hit firing allies while this weapon is charged, heals them with rapid healing, increasing weapon damage, and bestowing restoration to your allies. So I know it does a lot, but here's basically the main things that it does. Whenever you damage enemies, you're going to be filling up this meter right here, and the meter kind of like tells you how much healing you have and how long you can be healing for. It feels like it fills up really quickly. Most of the time my bar was pretty much full. Like I would have to go out of my way to spend all my healing bar to actually get rid of it. So as long as you're constantly doing damage, you're pretty much going to be able to heal people anytime that you want. And to heal teammates, you do kind of have to fire in their general direction. As long as your teammates are within this big vertical, they will get healed, because the healing bullets do have a bit of tracking to them, and they're very forgiving. As long as they're in there, you're going to be able to heal the teammates. They are really good at finding their target and actually healing your teammates. Now the heal itself is pretty good. You actually heal a lot. As long as you're constantly healing teammates, they could tank so much damage. The only things that people weren't surviving during the legendary campaign was when they were just completely swarmed by a bunch of enemies all at once, or just something that would just one-shot them, because you can out heal just a one-shot. But the healing is very good. It is ridiculous the amount of healing you can output with this auto rifle. Also, after you heal somebody for a while, you give them restoration. So you can just heal them till they get restoration, and then they'll get restoration for a couple seconds and continue healing even after you stop shooting them with the auto rifle. So if you thought healing with the auto rifle itself just wasn't enough, you're even giving restoration to your teammates with this thing. So yeah, this is pretty good. And the last thing this frame does is that it actually gives the weapon itself a damage increase, a 30% damage increase whenever you heal allies. So basically you can pretty much just always be doing a little bit extra damage in PvE. So not only are you going to be walking around keeping your teammates alive, but you're also going to be walking around with a 30% damage boost just for doing that. And it's going to be pretty great. In PvE, I'll take as many damage boosts as I can get. So I definitely like that this is built into the support frame to not only incentivize people to actually use it as a support weapon, you know, and get some heals, but to heal the teammates as often as possible and get rewarded from it with some extra damage. I also think that having that damage boost to kill things faster also will help your meter out so you can continue healing. So just on the frame itself, this weapon already has like a loop going between healing teammates, doing damage, healing teammates, doing damage. That's pretty nice. But I think that's enough of me talking about the frame. Now we're actually going to be moving on to the perks. For the perks, there's a couple of good ones, and there's even some unique ones that probably won't roll on any other type of weapon except the support frames. So let's take a look at those. Now looking at this perk 1, we have a couple of interesting perks. But the ones I want to take a look at are Demolitionist, Physics, and also Subsistence. So let's start with Demolitionist. Demolitionist is going to give us some grenade energy back whenever we get a weapon kill. So not only are we going to be able to build up our meter to heal allies, but we're also going to be getting our grenades back. So whenever we damage some enemies, not only are we going to be building back our meter to heal allies, but we're also going to be getting some grenade energy back to get us our grenade back. Whether it's another supporting grenade, like a healing grenade, although with the auto rifle you probably won't need the healing grenades. At that point it might be a bit overkill in the healing. Or it's a damage grenade that you can defend yourself and also deal with some of the bigger enemies. But regardless of what grenade you're actually using, you're gonna just have it faster with Demolitionist. Now Subsistence is gonna make it so you don't have to reload as often, which I think is gonna be pretty good. Now Subsistence is gonna partially refill your magazine every time you get a kill. This is gonna be great for never reloading the weapon. It's basically always gonna be ready to go as long as you're killing things. And since this weapon is a pretty good sized magazine, you can definitely take advantage of Subsistence and never reload. And the last perk that I want to take a look at is actually the new one, Physics. And this is pretty much going to be the one if you want to go fully into the healer role. Rapidly healing allies grants restoration to you and your allies. So before, rapidly healing an ally will give them restoration, but you wouldn't receive any healing. But if you have this perk, not only are your teammates getting restoration, but you're also getting restoration at the same time. So not only does this help your teammate, but it also helps you. So in places where you really want to stay alive, you can pretty much make it so you both just constantly have restoration. This perk is pretty much just guaranteeing that both you and your teammate will stay alive by having constant restoration. So I could definitely see this one being pretty good, especially if you're really focusing on healing and maybe you don't see like an Addis sneaking up on you. This could actually save your life. The restoration is no joke, especially if you're like on a warlock or something. You're gonna be getting tons of restoration with this. So I would say for the first trait, those three are probably the best ones. They'll kind of cater to like different play styles. So choose the one that fits your play style the best. And let's move on to the second trait perk. Now let's move on to the second trait perk. This is what we got, but we're mostly gonna be taking a look at, I would say, 4 perks, including a new one that I think are gonna be really good on the second trait. And the ones that I kind of want to talk about are Incandescent, Frenzy, Circle of Life, and Nutrition Orbs, believe it or not. So let's start off with Incandescent. I don't even know what to say about the Incandescent that hasn't been said before. It gives you extra ad clear, it enables ignitions. It's just going to be a really good perk for clearing out even more, which pairs up pretty nicely with this weapon because we're doing all that damage, so we're going to be building our meter up really quickly with Incandescent. And like I said, it's just a bit of extra ad clear. We're going to have this weapon out quite a bit if we're healing with it, so having a bit of extra ad clear can never hurt. So Incandescent, I could definitely see being an amazing perk on this weapon, and just pairing up really well with the whole supporting role that this weapon is going for. Now, this one might be a little bit controversial, but it's Attrition Orbs. But I feel like it really fits this supporting playstyle pretty well. You make extra orbs for not only yourself but your teammates, so they can spam not only their supers but their abilities more often. It's just another way of creating orbs and helping the team out, so I thought that it fits the whole supporting role really nicely. Maybe you won't like them, especially with Incandescent being in the slot, but I think it's worth the shot giving Attrition Orbs a try and seeing how you like it. Next up we have Frenzy, which is really good. You get a 15% damage increase, you get 100 handling, 100 reload, and it's pretty much on till you get out of combat. This thing is insane with its uptime, and overall it's just gonna make your weapon feel a little bit better with the extra damage, handling, and reload. Frenzy is a fantastic perk. You can never go wrong with Frenzy, so Frenzy is again really good on this weapon. And the last perk we're taking a look at on this column is Circle of Life. And I know what you might be thinking, doesn't this already get like a damage buff just built in because of the frame? And yes, you do remember that correctly. But the Circle of Life basically makes it so it can stack with other buffs like Empowering, and also Circle of Life makes it last longer. The frame buff is only 5 seconds, while Circle of Life is 10 seconds. So not only does it stack with some other buffs, but it also lasts longer. And it is very easy to proc. All you have to do is just rapidly heal somebody. Rapidly healing, whenever it mentions that, it just means heal them till they get their restoration. That's pretty much what it means. So you shoot somebody for like a second, as long as they get hit with a couple of bullets, you'll proc these things. So, well, at first I wasn't super impressed with the Circle of Life. Looking at it a little more, I can see that this perk's got some crazy potential to just make this weapon feel really good. Especially with the ease of proccing it, you're basically going to be able to proc it all the time. So definitely don't ignore Circle of Life. It's a pretty big damage buff that will last for a pretty long time. And you can just keep constantly re-proccing it. So it has insane uptime as well. And of course, if you're going for the ultimate healing build, I would definitely recommend Circle of Life plus Physics. So not only are you getting that damage buff whenever you heal somebody, but also restoration. So not only are you going to be doing more damage, but also you're straight up not dying. Although Physics pretty much can go well with any other perk, with Incandescent, with Frenzy, Attrition Orbs, even some of the other ones I didn't mention like Disruption Break. But those are pretty much the best perks that I think you can get on the second column. Definitely look for those. Those are going to be the ones that are going to give you the most on this weapon. Now, let me tell you a little about this weapon. At first, when I played with it, I just kind of was interested in to see how the frame worked. And then multiple times when you told us that it was like just not die gun, that you wouldn't die being shot by it. And after playing the Legend campaign with friends, I can guarantee that. It is so hard for somebody to die when they're constantly being shot with one of these things. They can tank so much damage. It is insane. My very first one that I got from the campaign came with Physics. So I thought that the weapon was just giving me restoration at the same time it was giving them restoration. Later, I found out that wasn't just something built into the weapon. It was actually the perk. But it's so nice being able to not only give your teammates restoration, but you yourself get restoration. A lot of times when I got low, I would just shoot my teammates just for my own restoration. Not even for them, they just happen to get it as a byproduct. But it's so good just being able to proc restoration whenever you want on any class, just very easily with this weapon. Also, the healing is not only strong, but it's also available pretty much all the time as long as you keep doing a bit of damage. The meter seems to fill up really quickly. I don't even know. The meter seems to fill up really quickly, so running out of meter is not something that happened too often, unless I was literally just standing still, healing a teammate without actually shooting something for a long period of time. That's pretty much like the only time I ran out of healing juice. This thing is gonna be insane, especially on some more dedicated support builds, because I was just using this with like whatever I had on during the campaign. I think I had Lucky Pants on, so I definitely wasn't going for a support build. So with a support build, this thing is gonna be insane. Currently, this is the only supporting frame weapon, and I think they're probably gonna keep it to the auto rifles. I don't see them making other types of healing support frames for now. They're probably gonna stick to the auto rifles for a while, but I feel like the auto rifles work very well for this type of frame. But yeah, that's it. That's my thoughts on the No Hesitation. Hopefully you guys get it. Hopefully you guys get your God rule. And if you already have your God rule, have a role in mind, make sure that you drop it in the comments below. I'm just kind of see what people are. I'm just trying to see what people are running with this thing. Because it does have a lot of different perk combinations and just different things that you can go for, depending on your playstyle. But anyways, as always, thank you all for watching. Leave a like if you did. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Dislike if you disliked it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, everyone. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.